Hey guys, welcome to the breakdown. I'm going to be breaking down all the latest in movie and TV. To kick off the first episode of the breakdown, we're going to be breaking down Season 3, Episode 1 of Invincible, and let's get straight into it. The show starts with the standard recap of Season 2, which I will be breaking down on this channel soon, and I can't lie, it's just a build up to this third season. But moving on to the first section of the show, this episode kicks off with Mark fighting a giant monster, which looks like it could be part of Alan the Alien's race. But we soon find out that Mark Grayson is actually training harder than ever, with Cecil guiding him. Now, the giant celebrates too soon and gets knocked down by Mark, and we soon find out that the giant is just a kid with a condition that has made him this way. And we get a little representation of the South Asian community, so gotta rep that one, come on. As the Chemicals Brothers song Go plays, we cut to a training montage of Mark training all his attributes, getting him to the strength and agility he needs to be to have the chance against the Viltrumites and live up to the name Invincible. And here's where we get the cutoff for the title sequence, which is sporting his regular colours. Foreshadowing, this episode is going to be more of a simple episode for a start. Now, cut back to the GDA HQ. Donald reads out the results of Mark's progress while he's still training, stating some high numbers, but really, they're not high enough to even have a chance against the Viltrumites. And in walks Rexplode, feeling a little demotivated to say the least, because Mark's lifting some building or whatever. I don't even know what he's building there, I can't lie. But Rex complains that the coffee machine and his hand isn't working, but you got money for Mark's training, as he unsuccessfully gives Cecil the finger, but they are quickly interrupted by a call about someone stealing the Declaration of Independence. So they rush to the scene, and Mark is excited to try out his new power, while Rex just invites himself along, as usual. And while this is occurring, we cut to see a mole in the base, but you actually don't know who he's working for, so it doesn't really foreshadow that, but I feel like you'll find out soon enough. Cut to the archives of the United States. Here we are introduced to characters who in the subtitles are called Dropkick and Fight Master, and Mark and Rex seem unbothered by them. So we know these guys ain't no threat because they literally have a conversation about Mark asking out Kate in the midst of this fight. But then out of nowhere, Multipole, the brother of Duplicate, and just starts beating on Rex, claiming that he killed Duplicate when this is not the case because the Lizard League killed Duplicate. And as he nearly dies again, Mark tries to charge through the crowd, and Duplicate appears out of nowhere with Immortal. And now, last season, Immortal actually went on a rampage after Duplicate got killed, so Rex is not happy about this situation. And here we got to Oliver getting homeschooled by April. And since the last season, Oliver has been growing at a rapid rate. And I reckon by the next couple episodes, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the same size or age as Mark's. I don't know how that works out, to be honest with you. But while Mark is playing catch with him, he also realizes he has superpowers too. So it's a big shock to him because Mark got his powers at around 17 and Oliver is not even close to that age. But because he's from a different planet, he grows at a different age. Next, we reintroduce Duplicate at the GDA HQ while she explains how she is still alive. She always keeps a copy for safekeeping in case, which is understandable. And her and Immortal are married now, but I can't lie, I expected that one. But they skipped all over that. I didn't like that they didn't show stuff about Duplicate or backstory. Maybe we'll get it a bit later in the series. But some other characters are reintroduced, such as Trinken Ray and Black Samson, and everyone's happy the family's all back together. We move back to the GDA HQ, where Donald and Cecil are reading through seismic incidents occurring all over America, mainly in the major cities, but more important matters are at hand. Cecil knows about Oliver's powers, so that ain't good. Skipping the bowling scene, which again is just talking about Mark and Eve's lovey-dovey stuff. When they leave, they see Rick, one of Mark's friends, has a pain in his chest because he hasn't recovered from Sinclair's torture, which also foreshadows the robots we're about to see in this episode. Now, something Morse can relate to is the Barry dying on a car, and Mark is that good of a friend that at least he flew them home. Can't lie, I wish I had a friend like Mark. Mark finally builds up the courage and heads to Kate's treehouse, but before he goes in, he gets pre-show jitters and Eve nips that in the bud quick because she's got super hearing too, and just says, "Are you gonna come in or what?" basically. And now we go back to Oliver, who's getting ready for the zoo and needs to hide his purple skin, but his mom, sorry, I'm from Newcastle, so I say mom. But his mom masks it as his secret identity, when really, we know he'd get called all kind of names because he's purple. Then a knock on the door comes, and who is it? He gets right at Cecil. And he's trying to get Oliver to train with him, and Oliver would be more than happy if it wasn't for his mother. You can tell Cecil is afraid of Oliver though. You can't blame him because I would be skeptical about everything after what happened about Omni-Man. Back at Eve's house, where Eve and Mark start to catch up, Mark asks out kind of nervously. Technically, Eve asks him out because he doesn't finish the sentence. And we go back to Cecil after this, where Cecil is trying to convince Debbie to let him train Oliver, and also grilling her about the fact that he has powers, when Debbie only found out a day before, so how can you blame her? Cecil as a character so far seems like a bad guy, but as the season goes on, we'll find out his reasons for why he does what he does. We then quickly fade to our prisoner, Dr. Seismic, looking suspicious as Rex, who was taking a shower, gets captured by some centipede-looking beings. And the first I saw these, I kind of thought they were that thing from Star Wars, the big worm in the ground. They look a bit like that, and the sand people, because they come out of the dark. Now as this happens, the GDHQ goes into panic mode with earthquakes happening all over the country. And the worst thing is that no heroes are responding, all but two. And surprise, surprise, Dr. Seismic has escaped. Who didn't predict that? That brings us back to Cecil, who is trying to convince Debbie still, but luckily for her, Cecil gets the report about Dr. Seismic, and Oliver overhears as you see a menacing look form in his eyes. Oliver is going to be probably one of the most powerful, probably more even powerful than Invincible, so if he sends him now and he dies, that is going to be such a loss. But a lot of back and forth cuts are happening right now, and that is one thing I didn't really like about this episode. Like, I kind of want to stay in one scene a bit instead of it going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We get back to the only two superheroes that are responding, which is Mark and Eve. And I can't lie, Mark is very dumb for this scene. He tells Eve about the other Eve when his friend told him not to earlier on. And which, if you didn't know, she is the one who told Mark to tell Eve he loves her. If you as a watcher didn't see Eve getting pissed off, you really need to rethink life. So does Mark, because any girl will get pissed off in that situation. You gotta walk on eggshells, but they are rudely interrupted by Cecil with the mission against Dr. Seismic, where they drop everything and rush to the scene. While this is happening, Oliver tries to sneak out the house to help them, but his mom catches him quick time. So that's what moms are for. I've tried to sneak out the house many times and got caught, so I wouldn't put it past them. Cut to our villain for the episode, Dr. Seismic. He has captured all the heroes in some egg creation of his, which is impenetrable to most of the heroes. We see this while Dr. Seismic gives the standard villain talk, blah blah blah, gonna take over the world, stating he needs to punish them for failing the human race. This guy is kind of a generic, villain, oh yeah, gonna kill the world underground, but stepping the two heroes to the rescue, as they both charge at the creatures we had seen before, but we kind of find out where the creatures are from now. They're from the underground, and there's loads of different ones, like scorpions, kind of just different shapes and sizes of the creatures. But Cecil is pissed again as he has no heroes, really just two, and he opens up drop pods 1 to 3, which no one knows what they are. And after that, we get back to Oliver, who was being convinced by his mom that Invincible, aka Mark, will train him when he's back to help him be the best hero he can. Over these next couple episodes, I know Oliver's going to be a grown person, so we're going to see a good arc with him. And now we return back to the fight. How many scene cuts did I actually want? There was too many scene cuts in this episode, I can't lie. Make it a bit more grounded to a certain area instead of always cutting it. It is a bit annoying. Now Mark and Eve are struggling in this fight, and as they attempt to free the others, they also get captured. So while Eve gets knocked out cold, Mark gets impaled and then knocked out cold, ending up in the same place they came to save everyone from. And when Mark comes to, all he can hear is Black Samson pleading to wake up Eve. As she controls atoms, she'll be able to easily get them out. And Mark tries and fails until the area around them starts to explode and deteriorate and her eyes start to open. The audio gets taken over by a countdown as the pods Cecil released are finally revealing the same creations seen in the first season by Sinclair. Cyborg zombies basically, and Darkwing 2 actually makes a reappearance, and they all free all the heroes, even in the odds in the battle in the underground. Mark notices that what they are on is not happy though, because the Sinclair robots actually killed a lot of his friends and even injured Rick, as I was talking about earlier on. As Mark is freed, he charges at a cyborg, revealing that they are made from dead body parts, and he grows angry and actually just flies out of the scene. I don't blame him, to be honest with you, because using people that are dead for zombies and soldiers is a messed up thing, to be honest with you. And Cecil is just getting worse and worse each episode. And now we cut to Dr. Seismic, who's about to sacrifice himself and everyone there. But Darkwing comes to the rescue, taking Seismic to the Shadow Realm and causing all the monsters to retreat, which was a very easy defeat, I can't lie. Not for Mark and Eve, but for Darkwing, he just kind of made it look easy. As Darkwing returns from the Shadow Realm with Seismic, Mark pummels him due to his previous actions because he's a murderer and he murdered a few of his friends and innocent people. And you'll be able to find that out in my season 1 to 2 breakdown, which is coming soon. Then Darkwing states that he's reformed, and now that thanks to the help of Cecil, and Mark flies to get to the bottom of why murderers are saving his life. Cut back to our favorite place, the GDA HQ, yet again. Mark and Cecil, I nearly said Cecil there, are arguing this time about Sinclair's robots and Darkwing, and how he can work with murderers who killed his friends and even tortured Rick. Cecil hits a low blow and compares Mark to Angstrom Levy, which, if you don't know, he was the villain of the last season who Mark killed in cold blood because he tried to kill his mom, broke his mom's arm, and tried to kill Oliver. That low blow, I think Cecil's head is going crazy, as Mark is nothing close to Angstrom. If it was his mother, I'm sure he would have acted the same. But nevertheless, Cecil cuts off Mark, telling him to go home. And he refuses, I can't lie. Well, I wouldn't either because they were still talking. And the talk starts to get a little bit heated. And unfortunately, Mark is exactly where Cecil wants him. In a bright white room made for protection from Mark. As Mark starts to look around, Cecil reveals a group of Sinclair's robots ready to fight Mark for his protection. And then we cut to the credits. And in the post-credit scene, we will see Alan, the alien, who is locked up with Nolan, and a lot stronger now. He's looking quite a bit more hencher. And the Viltrumites attempt to cut him open with a powerful laser and fail miserably. And Nolan's actually quite shocked about this. It kind of looks like he's concerned, but in my head, it's quite looking like quite a bit of shock, because I think if Alan the alien is able to grow his power like that, he'll be a force to be reckoned with. Now, thank you very much for watching. This has been my first episode of the breakdown. It's not going to be the last. I'm putting my all into this, and yeah, if you like the content, let me know. I'm going to start showing my face soon, but I've just got to do it with the tools I've got right now, because I'd honestly love to be going about to all these movie things and like Comic-Con and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to go with my passion. I've recently left doing music for this, just for the better. So yeah, I'm ready to put my all in it, and I'm ready to work with my fans. And honestly, if anyone wants to be a part of this channel and break down some stuff with me, let me know. Drop me a comment, drop me an Instagram. But yeah, that's the end. And season 3, episode 2 will be coming out in the next couple of days. But yeah, thank you very much. This was the breakdown. I'm Harris, otherwise known as Rizma. But I think I need to change my nickname, so I think I'm just going to stick with Harris for now. But yeah, thank you guys.